right, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning back in. Made it back up to the property. It's gonna be a really quick trip this time, just to turn around. Got some couple things I want to do. Supposed to meet with my guy Chris to look at opening up some areas that I'm trying to do for some spots for some bedding. Hey, first of all, I gotta apologize. A little bit under the weather. You can probably hear some of the congestion in my head. Feel fine. Actually, I probably sound worse than I actually feel, but so I got a little bit of that going on, and I'm going to be trying to film all this alone without my GoPro, so it's going to be straight phone footage. So yeah, I left my GoPro at home when I got on the road, but should be able to make it work. Let's see. Basically, on the agenda for today, let me turn you around here, show you what I got going on. So I am going to get down. Well, I'm going to knock out my soil samples. Excuse me, while I'm here. I think the last one I did was in September, so it hasn't quite been a year, but I feel like it's been enough time to notice some change, if anything has changed. But what I'm going to do is get down some giant Miscanthus. And you see, the object for this is to really just get those plots screened in. There's a logging road, not a whole lot of frequent traffic, but enough to where, you know, it would be enough to spook anything that's in there. And it's right on the outside border of my the first plot there. So I want to get this up along that plot, just to kind of wall it in, and then right in front of where I plan to put my ladder stand, or if I use my climber stand, either way it needs to be obscured, kind of screened in. So I'm gonna get this down on both sides, on both plots. Got about 600 rhizomes I have to get in the ground, so that should be an entertaining work field day. I know Miscanthus grass has been known to be invasive. This is sterile, so it doesn't reseed itself, it doesn't spread like that, so I shouldn't have an issue with, you know, an invasive type thing going on. Then I'm gonna just do put out a salt lick. Try this Trophy Rock 465, see how it does. And I'm going to get my Tideweed line back up, because next month, come April, I actually want to see if I can do some turkey hunting. As you guys have seen, it looks like the turkeys have found one of those plots and they were out and about. So hopefully come turkey season here, I can get something going on. Excuse me. I got this, it's basically just a type of gravity feeder. And all I want to do with that, kind of for inventory's sake, I'm going to throw out, you know, I got protein mixes, Boomer Blend, and I think that's like Sportsman Rack or something like that. But just put a little protein out there on a couple different places. See if I recognize any of the deer coming back, and then yeah, just kind of go from there. So, and I'm going to mark off the four corners for Chris in case we're not able to meet today. If he comes out, he can walk it out and still have a good idea of kind of what I'm looking at. So it's gonna be busy, because I have to dig and plant these rhizomes by hand. There's 600 of them, so that means 600 holes, 600 rhizomes in the ground, which should be okay. Weather's good, so I'm going to end this soliloquy here, and I'll catch up with you guys on the other side once we get out there and get things going. Oh, and I also have to change batteries in, I'll probably just change all the batteries in all my cameras. Most of them are okay, but there's a couple that are really low. And I want to get a good look at those food plots and see what looks like they've been hitting. I'm getting constant videos, like they're out in both the rye side and the oats side. And the only thing that both of those have in common is clover. I don't know if any of the clover has started to come up yet. It's relatively warm here where we are in the south, So I don't know if they're starting to kind of hit the clover or if they're just still on the oats and the rye. So that'll be something to look at also. Going back to the Miscanthus, what I have noticed is, so in preparation to get this stuff down, I've also got some RC Big Rock switchgrass that I planted down there. So getting ready to get that down, I came through with my brush mower and mowed down all of the domain incognito that I planted last season that had grown. And what I noticed literally immediately, zero daytime activity. So before, when there was, and it was thin and kind of sparse, but I was still having, you know, some does would come through there. I think Primo, you saw, if you haven't seen yet, you will see Primo came through a couple different occasions during the day. So I think definitively say that some type of screening around there, something that makes it, you know, makes them feel like they're protected from the perimeter, from the outside, definitely makes a difference. Because once I mowed that stuff down, they only hit that at nighttime. So that is something that I noticed right off the bat. So yeah, enough rambling for now. I'm gonna get out here, get this stuff going, and see how we do. So I'll catch up with you guys in a few. Later. All right, so here's a first look. Made it out to the first plot, so you can kind of get an idea. I've got the kind of the perimeter, the edge here is cleared out. That's where I mowed down the incognito from that first year. Just came all the way around. I mean, I guess it looks okay. I can see there is some, looks like there's some clover coming up in here and plenty of rye. So it's not terrible. Still got some yellowing going on. Not really sure what that's about, but for the most part, it's, you know, it's relatively green. I guess the thing I have to remember, the biggest thing about this whole situation is that this is a first year plot. So actually it's not even a full year. The fall will be a full year. So I was able to get in here, get it cleared out from, you know, looking pretty much like that all over. Got it cleared out, got it prepped, got an idea of what my soil was like, made some amendments. And this is where we stand now. So I think it's decent for a first year plot, considering, you know, if it just gets better from here, then I think we'll be doing okay in the future. But what I want to do is give you guys, so this, pretty much this whole strip right here, all the way down to around there is where I have to get. So this is where the RC Big Rock went in. So hopefully that'll start coming up when it gets warmer, but I'm gonna get a good line of that giant Miscanthus in here, and I'll show you why. So this is from inside the plot. So I'm just gonna walk out to this road and kind of give you the perspective looking in. Right, so this road runs all the way down. It comes, you know, all the way down to the end here. But if you're walking or driving or anything down this road, you can clearly see all the way down, like it's all the way completely exposed, right? Nothing but green in there. And so I need to get that, just get some kind of screening up in there, just to kind of, you know, make that a little bit more of a secure area. So I mean, it basically goes the length of the plot. So like here, it starts to get a little thicker in the underbrush, but you can still make out some green in there. So I want to get that obscured and kind of out of plain sight. And hopefully that'll make it better. So I am going to try to get this thing set up. I have a post hole digger and a shovel, so between the two, I'm hoping I can get a bunch of holes dug in short order, drop these giant Miscanthus rhizomes in there, and move on back to the other side, do the same. Then I'll get the salt licks and the soil test, all that stuff in relation to everything else, I would say is easy, but digging these holes and getting this stuff in here, I don't know what that's going to be like, so I want to knock that out first. All right, so stay tuned, stay with me. I'll get set up here, and I'll see you guys back in a few. All right. almost halfway done. Time for a break. So I always seem to forget just to get some regular footage of these plots, just kind of stand alone on their own. So I'm over at the second one. This is the one that's majority oats. I think there's some rye in here, but the majority of that is oats. There's some clover in there. And you can see again, this is a first year plot. So the soil amendments, fertilizing, all that stuff seems to be coming in handy, seems to be working. There's a pretty decent amount of clover coming up in this one, more than on the other side. And that's funny because the pH on the other side is higher, but this side over here seems to grow better. Not sure why or what the deal with that, but yep, this is the second plot. Like I say, mostly oats. And what I'm doing now, that yellow O is gonna be my tree stand tree. So back at it, digging holes for this giant Miscanthus, and it's gonna go all the way around to about here. And then in here, I've got some Indian grass, and there's just some other stuff that I wanna, some switchgrass to get up in there. So just trying to get a little bit of screening on this side. The other plot is right back there, and then bedding is right in here, kind of between the two plots, and there's some bedding back over in here. So trying to get it set up relatively well, see how it does. Got to find a place on the other end to put my blind, and I don't know if you can see it from here, but this tree right here, there's an orange O on it. That's also potentially a tree for my climber. I think you can probably accommodate me in the climber, and I'll probably put my blind right there, kind of right underneath that tree, and set it up and leave it there. So still some work to do, got a bunch of holes to dig, but this is the second plot. Plenty of green, and they're in here every single night. But I think the daytime activity has stopped because all the incognito that was in here went all the way around there. It's all been mowed down. So it's, I guess as far as they're concerned, maybe it's just wide open. So, they come in a lot in here through the tree line, but maybe they feel exposed. So no daytime activity in here, and there was significant activity during the day before. So trying to get this stuff down. I got switchgrass down over here also, so maybe that'll, like on the other side, make them feel a little bit more secure. But I needed to take a break, so I am back to heaving this shovel and dropping these giant Miscanthus rhizomes in here. I'll check with you guys later. All right, so this is gonna serve as the before, and I had to do it before. I forgot. So I got I got some, yesterday I finished up with one line of giant Miscanthus. This is the second plot. So I came through today and just walk all the way around, but basically I just put down another line. What I realized is that I purchased way more than I needed, but it was really hard to tell. If you go by the planting instructions, you know, in order to get a pretty nice screen, so I ordered quite a bit, and I started to realize that I was gonna have way more left over than I anticipated, and can't come back and replant, right? Like, it has to be either, I think you can keep it cool for about 2 weeks, but then it has to go on the ground. So if anything I don't get down this trip is just basically wasted. So I came through, got another line in, but this is going to be the before. And like I say, what I did notice over here is that all of the daytime activity ceased once I came through and mowed all this down. This is the domain incognito from this past year, and it was, I mean, some of it was, you know, maybe 8, maybe 10 feet tall. On average, probably, I don't know, 5 feet maybe. But it was tall enough to where I guess they, you know, felt pretty safe, pretty secure. But now, you know, my cameras blow up all night, but nothing during the day now. So hopefully once this stuff starts to come up, that will all change. And on another note, so back in, must have been February, maybe late January, maybe it was December, I don't know, but that's when I came through and I frost seeded the RC Big Rock switchgrass. And once again, I don't really even know what I'm looking for or looking at. Somebody drop a comment. Tell me what you think that is. I'm trying to see if some of this stuff is coming up. Right, so not entirely sure what it is, but definitely interested to hear what you all might think it is. And so here in the South, we're practically, you know, really getting into spring back in the end of February. So I think the prospect of any more frosts, I think that's pretty much come to pass. Getting a lot of rain, so there's really good moisture, and the temperatures are pretty consistent, you know, during the day up in at least the high 60s. Had some mid to high 70-degree days also. Nighttime still dropping down, you know, to the 50s, maybe high 40s, but for the most part, like I say, I think we're getting into that spring-ish weather. So yeah, so that's why I'm kind of wondering if maybe that is some of that switchgrass starting to pop. Let me know what you think. I have to head over to the other side. I'm on a tight schedule today. Got to head over to the other side, get on the shovel, get some more of that Miscanthus in the ground on the other side, and then pack it up and get ready to go. So, all right, just got everything, rest of them down over on the first side. I still have to get them covered up, but not sure why. So this is the giant Miscanthus I got from Real World, and this is what these rhizomes, so this is what they look like coming out of the bag. Some of them have already kind of pushed some sprouts. So basically, dig a hole and drop them in, you know, horizontally, cover it back up, and wait for the rain, which we're actually supposed to get tomorrow. So that should work out pretty well. And the other thing, I'm not sure if I got this either. So I obviously, you saw I got the blind up. I'll be back in about a month. See if I can get some turkeys out of here. But the stakes that came with the blind, you know, they just didn't do too well in this sandy soil. So I just went out and bought some dog tie-out anchors, 17 inches, and screwed it all the way down. And then with these tensioners here, pulled it nice and tight. So the Tractor Supply only had 3 in stock. I bought their last 3. So I've got one, got it here in the front. And then on that side that I just showed you, I wish I had one on this side, but I don't think, hopefully no wind will come and flip it that way. And then I've got one on the back, same way. And these plastic tensioners, they seem to do pretty well. Just got it off of Amazon. So got the blind up so that within the, you know, the next month or so, it'll just kind of become a part of the landscape, and anything that's over here, I'll just start to ignore it. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully I'll have something to show for it in just a little bit over a month. So for now, I got to get these holes covered up, get back to the house. I got to change some batteries on these cameras too before I head out of here, but get back to the house and then pack it up in 600 miles home. So you guys take care. As always, I appreciate you. Thanks for checking us out. Like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. And I'll be checking in with everybody a little bit later. Hopefully I have some good progress videos or pictures to upload here after not too long. All right, everybody, take care. Be safe. I appreciate you. Whew, all right, no selfie stick. Just long arms. So coming to the wrapping it up for the day. Most of the stuff is done for today. Got most of the Miscanthus, the giant Miscanthus planted. Got those, tried to get those protein feeders up. Did okay, did so. Threw out just like a bag of salt of the mineral over by the water hole, and the man, I'm exhausted. The water hole and the scrape over there. So now what I'm doing, I'm meeting Chris from Old South Forestry and Mulching. I'm gonna meet him in a few to try to square away some areas for more bedding. So as you can see behind me, it's just pines, thick pines all the way around. So what I want him to do, I'll flip you around here. I'm gonna want him to do is come through with his mulcher, essentially just like he did for my food plots. So he'll come through the designated area. I'll mark off the 4 corners. He'll come through with his mulcher, just mulch all this down, all the way down. He did pretty good. He did actually really good with the stumps pretty much down to the ground and whatnot. And then he'll come back behind that, and I don't know if he used a blade or the box. I'm not sure what he used, but he'll scrape all the mulch off the surface, all this, you know, pine trash and leaves, all this stuff. He'll scrape all that up, so it's pretty close to just soil. There's still, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Still going to be some mulch and stuff in there. This, unlike the food plot, I'm not as concerned with, because all I'm trying to do in here basically is just get stuff to grow, right? So I'm going to come back in. I've got some RC Chippewa switchgrass I'm going to toss in here. I have some Indian grass, you know, some native wildflowers, just some stuff I'll throw in here to get it coming up. And then the natural regeneration, hopefully once it opens up and the sun gets in here, you know, get some stuff going, and it'll be a little bit better of a bedding area. On another note, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of hard to tell with the sun. These trees in here are actually starting to turn brown from when I came in and did the drill and kill, hack and squirt. So that is working. It's just, it's not going to work fast enough. And even if, you know, if they all died right now, I would still have this issue where just all this muck and trash on the ground. So nothing, can't plant anything because there's, you know, no soil is exposed. So I'm going to walk this off real quick, get my my markers put up, so when Chris comes we can just walk it, get an estimate, a timeline, and then hopefully get to it. So man, it's been a super long day. I'm exhausted, I'm thirsty, I drank all my water, but this is it. So finish this up. I'll probably come out tomorrow morning to do the last of it. I ordered way more giant Miscanthus than I actually needed, so I'm gonna come out and tomorrow I'll probably be doing like triple rows and double rows and quadruple rows and who knows, but just to use all that stuff because I can't take it home, can't leave it. So I'm gonna have to get it in the ground one way or the other, and then I'll do my soil test tomorrow. Excuse me. And then that's it for out here. Then I'll be back on the road home. So thanks for tuning in. I know this has been a long one. I appreciate you all. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when new stuff comes up. I'm still trying to do something once a week, get a new video uploaded every Sunday at noon is what I'm shooting for. Been doing pretty good so far. So tell me what you think about everything, suggestions, comments, all that kind of stuff. Let's talk. All right, YouTube, this is Vance Venison Outdoors. You all have a good rest of the day, and I will check you later.